So I'm Tony Roberts and my company is Interco Contracts. Originally I was looking for premises for my business. I came across an advert for this place and it was ideal. Behind it was a piece of land, essentially landlocked, surrounded by gardens, completely overgrown. I managed to track the guy down. I said to him, look, I've bought that dilapidated builder's yard. You've got a piece of land behind it. Would you be interested in selling it? In the end, we managed to do a deal with them. We got the piece of land. Once we had that, we went to the council and said, look, we could actually put 4 or 5 of these industrial units on, or we could turn it into something residential because it's in a residential area. So the council said, yeah, it's a residential area. We'd much prefer to see a residential development. Once we decided it was going to become residential, we then set about looking for someone that could actually move it on for us. I was on a train one day coming back from a meeting in London, opened up, it was either the Even Standard or the Metro or something, and there was a big spread on Stolon and some houses that they built in Forest Hill, and I thought that's exactly what I want. I thought if we can do something along those lines, utilising the best of everything, if we can bring all that together, that was what I really wanted to do. And so I got in touch with Jessica and Robert, and we had a meeting. They came to look at the site. I told them what I wanted to do. Yeah, they were up for it. I was quite passionate about striving to achieve that, to bring everything in together, to bring, you know, fresh new designs, something that people would be proud of, and, you know, the surrounding area would look to it and it would become a bit of a landmark. But in addition to that, I wanted to bring all of the latest technology, and, you know, I was very concerned about people's impact on the planet, and I wanted to do everything I could do to sort of minimise that. When you build things, you know, you're building for 100 years. So whatever you decide to do and whatever you do, that's got to stand the test of time, and that's going to be around long after you're gone. So you've really got to focus and do it well. You've got to do something that you really want to do, that you're passionate about, and that you believe is worthwhile. The council, they were sort of very focused on wanting us to build flats, and we wanted to build houses. And I remember saying to the planning officer, it's all very well building flats all the time, but sooner or later people outgrow flats, and, you know, they want a house, they want a family, they want a small garden. Anyway, we dug our heels in and we persevered with it. So we went to the planning committee, we got asked a number of questions, and it was really good because the councillors were 100% behind it. Once we got that, it was sort of all systems go really, to get on with sort of finalising the design. With the actual design of the houses and the appearance, there were 2 influences on that. You know, we wanted something that we could build ourselves. That led us to the type of cladding that we've used here. And the other issue that we had was we didn't want to use bricks, cement, for example, concrete. You know, they use a lot of energy in their production. At the end of life, they're not really recyclable. So we chose products that had a minimal impact. I've always felt that whoever you are, as a company or as an individual, you know, we all live on this planet and we all share it, and I don't think anyone's got the right to spoil it. So I was quite, you know, adamant that whatever we did, we would try and make the houses as environmentally friendly as we could, and that would be through choice of materials and the method of construction. I also wanted something that would stand out, so people would look at it and think, do you know what, that's a nice building, I'm glad that's in my neighbourhood, or for the person that owns it, I'm glad I own this house. You know, it's something interesting for people to look at, and it's an improvement on the area. One of the influences on the choice of colour, I remember when I first came to the site with Robert and Jessica, it was in the autumn. There was a lot of dappled light coming through trees. You had a whole mixture of reds and browns on the ground from the autumn leaves and through. And I remember Jessica and Robert were really keen to sort of say, oh, this is quite inspirational if we could maintain that theme of autumnal colours. And that's why we ended up with the cladding panels that we've got. One of the things that we had to think about during the whole course of the build was we had to make the houses affordable. So top of our priority was making sure that when we built the thing that we built, people would actually afford to buy it and live here. We've managed to keep the cost down by using off-the-shelf materials, just in a different manner that people wouldn't normally do. We've managed to achieve a bespoke look, but at, you know, off-the-shelf prices, and you know, I'm quite proud of that. There's a concept called Fabric First, and what that means is from the very outset, you look to incorporate materials that are going to be the best for the end user, and by that I mean not just the appearance but the performance of them. So, you know, for example, when you install a window, you know, you've got the choice of, you could have an ordinary single glazed window, you can have a double glazed window, or you can have a triple glazed window. Obviously we've gone for triple glazing. You know, we've looked to put the best products in that we can, and if you make those decisions early on in the design process, it doesn't actually cost a lot. You know, there's not much difference in the cost of a triple glazed window to a double glazed window if you decide early on that that's what you want to do. Everything that we've done has been checked. You know, is it the best product? Is it the best product for the end user? And is it the best product for the environment? And that's been the design process throughout, in deciding, you know, what materials were selected and how we were going to use them. As far as the energy use goes, we made the decision early on that we weren't going to use gas, mainly because it's a fossil fuel and we didn't see the future of that. You know, we chose to go along the electric only route. We've got air source heat pumps. We've got solar panels which add to electricity generation. We've tried to maximise all of the technology that's available at the moment into these houses, and again we've tried to do that as cost effectively as we can. What I'm most proud of on this development is we've actually created something that's really unique. You know, I don't know of anything else that's like this. I just think it's an opportunity for people to own a quality house that's at the forefront of technology, that's interesting to look at, that's going to be very pleasant to live in, but also in a small little hub where you've got people around you that will care for you and look out for you. And I think bringing all those things together, you know, I'm really proud of that, and I'm pleased that we've done it. And I hope that people will look at it and say, do you know what, that's actually quite a good way of living and a good idea, and perhaps other people will pick up that concept and take it on and try and do something along similar lines. I think that's probably the thing that I'm most proud of, not just, you know, not just one item, but just the whole package. I think has turned out very well.